London 1847. Alice Bell publishes the novel Wuthering Heights. Alice Bell is actually the male pseudonym of Emily Brontë, one of the most important English novelists and poets. Emily dies the following year at only 30. 2 years later, her novel is published again, edited by her sister Charlotte, this time with the real name of the author. The book is today considered a masterpiece of the English literature, but back then the critic wasn't really enthusiastic and found it too brutal and violent. After a decade come its first estimators, Dante Gabriel Rossetti and the poet Algernon Swinburne, who compares the novel to the King Lear by Shakespeare. In the mid-20th century, Tomasi di Lampedusa compares Emily Brontë to Freud for the psychological profile of the characters. It's very fascinating the way Wuthering Heights comes into light. Emily lives isolated in a rectory in the Yorkshire moors. Her father is a reverend and her only playfellows are her sisters Anne and Charlotte and her brother Branwell. They invent and write short stories or goodnight stories. The three sisters will all of them publish novels. But let's go back to Wuthering Heights. The main topic of the book is the self-destructive love between Heathcliff and Catherine. But what seemed just a love romance is actually a rough story of hate, grudge and revenge. The presence of Catherine's ghost, who torments Heathcliff, is an element that approaches Wuthering Heights to the Gothic novel. In A Stormy Night, the scenario is the same English moor where the author was born. Mr. Lockwood, one of the narrators of the story, comes to Wuthering Heights. He is received by the master of the house, Heathcliff, and meets a series of dark and disturbing people. The housekeeper, Nellie Dean, the second narrator, will tell him what happened in that place 30 years before. Heathcliff, an orphan adopted by the Earnshaw family, grows with the children of his benefactor, Hindley and Catherine, and he falls in love with the girl. The premature death of her father, Hindley's grudge for Heathcliff, and the rich neighbour, Edgar Linton, will spoil Heathcliff and Catherine's relationship. After hearing Catherine complaining about his attitude and his poor condition, Heathcliff runs away. He will return 3 years later, rich and wealthy. He will find his Catherine married to Edgar. From now on will begin Heathcliff's revenge. He marries the naive Edgar's sister Isabella and buys Wuthering Heights. Catherine, shocked by the pain she has caused to herself and to her true love, dies, giving birth to a child with her same name. Heathcliff's revenge will extend on Hindley's son Hareton, his own child Linton, and Catherine's daughter. He will force Cathy and Linton to get married in order to take possession of the Lintons' fortune. Only after Heathcliff's death, Cathy and Hareton will manage to get married and fulfill the love denied in life to Catherine and Heathcliff. As we can see, Wuthering Heights has two different, bounded and violently conflicting stories. The first and most famous is a drama of love and betrayal. The second regarding the education, the growth and the adaptation to time's experiences. The relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine is the kind of relationship that even death can break. After her death, Heathcliff curses her not to rest, and prays her to haunt him until he is alive, because, as he says, he can't live without his life, he can't live without his soul. Catherine had expressed the same strong feelings to Nellie. Here's her beautiful speech. Heathcliff's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. My love for Linton is like the foliage in the woods. Time will change it, I'm well aware, as winter changes the trees. My love for Heathcliff resembles the eternal rocks beneath, a source of little visible delight, but necessary, till the complete identification with her lover. I am Heathcliff. Another important topic is death. seen as a relief. Only after their deaths, Catherine and Heathcliff's souls will finally rest in peace and rejoin together. There are a lot of films inspired by this novel. The first and most famous is 1939's Wuthering Heights, directed by William Wyler, starring Laurence Olivier and Merle Oberon. The film follows accurately the first part of the novel, the love story between Heathcliff and Catherine. The character of Hareton, Linton and Cady are eliminated. This distorts completely the deep sense of the novel, leaving it as a simple, even if very well made, impossible love story. However, the film remains a masterpiece and has an excellent cast. In fact, it's included in the Best 100 American Films list. The first film to show both the generation of the novel is the 1992's Wuthering Heights, with Juliette Binoche playing both Catherine and her daughter and Ralph Fiennes. Also in Italy, Rai produced a first television drama in 1956 and a second one in 2004, starring Alessio Boni as Heathcliff and Anita Caprioli as Catherine. Even the music honors this immortal story. In 1978, Kate Bush released the wonderful ballad Wuthering Heights. The singer wrote the song when she was 18 and chose it as the lead single in her debut album. It was primarily inspired by the Olivier Oberon film version, which deeply affected Bush in her teenage years. After reading the novel, Bush discovered she shared her birthday with Emily Bronte. The song is sung from Cady's point of view and uses several quotations from Catherine, most notably the verse "Bad dreams in the night." In the chorus, Cady announces to be home and prays Heathcliff to let her in his window and free her from her personal purgatory.